I didn't even know her name the first time I saw her. She was sitting at the back of the immigration office, knees shaking, hands clenched, staring down at a deportation notice like it was a death sentence. Her eyes were red, like she hadn't slept in days. I was there renewing a travel visa. She was there losing her entire future. I don't know why I said it. Maybe it was impulse, maybe it was fate, but I walked up to her and said 5 words that changed both of our lives. Will you marry me? She had 30 days to live, and somehow I became her husband. I'm not some hero. I'm not the type who does crazy things. I'm just average. Software engineer, 29, live alone, mildly introverted, the kind of guy who spends weekends updating his code base and listening to lo-fi jazz. But something about that day was different. I'd just gotten out of a long relationship, the kind where you give too much and end up empty. I was numb, just going through life on autopilot. And then I saw her, noticed her from across the room. She wasn't crying, not yet, but you could see it building in her throat like she was holding back a scream, and no one else noticed. Everyone just walked past her. I couldn't. I walked up, sat beside her, and asked if she was okay. She looked at me and whispered, "They're sending me back. I'll be gone by Friday." She was from Syria, came to the country on a student visa, top of her class, studying medicine. But her sponsor pulled out last minute, and her visa got revoked. She'd tried everything, lawyers, appeals, part-time jobs. Nothing worked. She said, "If I go back, I'll be married off. I'll never become a doctor. My life is over." And I don't know why I said it, but I looked her in the eyes and said, "What if I married you?" She blinked like she didn't hear me. I hadn't even introduced myself. I mean, who proposes to a stranger? But I wasn't kidding. I wasn't in love. I wasn't desperate. I just couldn't watch someone lose everything, not when I had the power to stop it. We talked for hours at a nearby diner. Her name was Layla. 24, wanted to become a pediatric surgeon. She loved kids, said her dream was to open a free clinic one day, somewhere the sun never stopped shining. We made a deal. 1-year marriage. No real relationship. No intimacy, no expectations. Just paperwork and survival. It was supposed to be clean, clinical, simple, but nothing about Layla was simple. We got married in a small courthouse. 2 witnesses, no photos, no family. Just signatures and a nervous laugh. At first, we barely spoke. She moved into my spare room, cooked quietly, studied obsessively, left little post-it notes for herself like, "Breathe, you're safe. You matter." I found one on the bathroom mirror once, and I stared at it for 10 minutes. She smiled differently than anyone I'd ever met, like smiling was a rebellion against everything she'd endured. And little by little, I started looking for her smile. One night during a thunderstorm, the power went out. We lit candles and sat on the floor eating cereal. She told me about her childhood. Bomb sirens, hiding under kitchen tables, watching neighbors disappear. I told her about mine. Boring suburbs, loneliness, the ache of never feeling seen. We talked until the sun came up. And something changed. She wasn't a stranger anymore. She was the first person who made silence feel full. I started cooking just to see her laugh at my terrible recipes. She started humming around the house. She bought a plant and named it after me. I downloaded a playlist called Arabic Love Songs and listened to it in secret. I didn't know what was happening to me. All I knew was I didn't want this to end. Our 1-year agreement was ending. We sat on the porch sipping tea, watching the sky turn orange. I turned to her and asked, "What happens next?" She looked down. "You've done enough. You saved me. I'll never forget that." I asked, "Is that all I am, a favor?" She smiled, but her eyes were sad. "You're everything I wasn't allowed to hope for." Then she leaned in, slowly, carefully, and kissed me. We never filed for divorce. We renewed her green card together. She passed her medical exams. She cried when she got her residency at a children's hospital. And one night at 2 a.m., she came home in scrubs covered in crayon drawings, gifts from the kids, and said, "I finally feel free." I said, "So do I." We didn't fall in love at first sight. We fell in love in the spaces between fear and survival. in whispered dreams, in shared silence, in a fake marriage that became the most real thing in my life. If this story touched your heart, comment below. Sometimes love finds you when you're just trying to survive. Share this video with someone who believes in second chances, someone who's lost faith in love, or someone who's quietly hoping for a miracle. Because sometimes the most beautiful beginnings start with an impossible choice.